Hi Sagittarius, how are we today? Just doing our weekly readings. This week we are looking at, your career mostly there, as well as your person. Okay, I will check in on general stuff as well, what's going on for you. But please subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I do really appreciate that support. Check out yesterday's shadow work reading as well for the full moon. I believe it was you guys. You guys actually had a pretty heavy one. So, we'll see what's coming through for you today with the weekly readings. But if you are prepared, be prepared for that shadow work reading. I'm pretty sure it was pretty heavy duty for you, Sagittarius. So, I wish you luck with that one. Okay, but we'll have a look here. I am actually using the Mystic Journey Oracle. The Lenormand I have is the Lenormand deck, as well as the Mystic Red Rose Love Oracle. Okay, so we'll have a look here and get into it for you. Sagittarius. What's going on for Sagittarius? What does Sagittarius need to know about right now? What does Sagittarius need to know? What's going on for Sagittarius, please? Freedom and forgiveness. Okay? The forgiveness is for you, yourself, Sagittarius. Especially those of you who have watched that shadow work reading, okay? Offering yourself forgiveness for where you are, where you have been, where you're going. You know, we all make mistakes. We all have good days and bad days, and that is totally fine. It's all about how we get back up and keep on moving after that, freeing ourselves from our sorrow and our pain and freeing ourselves, from feeling guilt or shame. Actually allowing ourselves to forgive ourselves for everything, everything. Everything. Okay, but we do see freedom there as well. So it's a really good time for you this week to, really open up to yourself and explore what freedom really means to you, what makes you feel free in this world. You have a lot of it's like you've, for some of you, I'm picking up here that you've been trapped by something or someone, in the past here, and now is your opportunity to explore the world without that hindrance of somebody else like trying to control you, or something else trying to hold you back. It's like you finally found your own wings here, Sagittarius. So you use them, flap them, okay? Reach for the stars. Okay, Sagittarius, clarify freedom and forgiveness for Sagittarius. There is one or two of you where you actually find freedom through your forgiveness for somebody, for something as well. Okay, so we do have the book coming through first. So that's really learning more, researching, finding that inner knowledge, finding that wisdom that has been closed off to you up until now, finding what the next chapter could possibly lead to for yourself here, really opening yourself up to find that inner knowledge of self, of where you want to go, what freedom really means to you, especially here with the stork. Okay, the stork is all about, things stirring up, new ideas being created. You're researching, I'm kind of picking up here that for someone, it's like you're researching how to forgive yourself. Even just as an example. So with the book, you're researching and finding the knowledge on how do you forgive. And then with the stork, that's where you're really coming up with new ideas and, really working out what ideas might work for you, and sort of stirring up the energy within yourself of how do I, move forward with this before you actually jump in the deep end and find that forgiveness and self-love. Okay, we have the heart here as well. So for a lot of you, this is new beginnings and transformation within your heart space. Forgiveness for self, it allows you freedom to, really start shifting your energy and moving into this new energy where new beginnings are possible. You're able to take flight. See the stork there, full wings stretched, flying straight into, love energy, positive energy for self. I feel for a lot of you here, it's learning how to love yourself, learning how to forgive yourself and love yourself by forgiving yourself. Okay. So, pretty deep there a little bit too, but nothing as heavy as we saw yesterday. I'm not going to lie, that was very heavy yesterday, Sagittarius, but, I think I even said it yesterday, like if that doesn't resonate with everybody, that is fine, because it was a very deep kind of rough, heavy energy. So, I kind of would hope that it doesn't resonate for everybody, because, I don't want all my Sagittarians dealing with that. It's a heavy thing to deal with sometimes. But moving on to work, job, career. What's going on for Sagittarius? Check it in for Sagittarius on their work, their job, their career. Sagittarius, work, job, career for Sagittarius. Ooh. One more. Work, job, career for Sagittarius, please. Ooh. It must have been Leo. I just had I had the two cards in the same order for Leo as well, and I've definitely shuffled the living daylights out of this deck in between the two. I actually did a private reading in between the two readings being recorded, so I know it's been 100% shuffled, and it's still come out the exact same as what I saw for Leo. So if you do have strong placements in Leo, you may want to check that reading as well. But we do see here, firstly, we have the clouds, and I feel like that's just straightforward energy. It's not the deeper it's not a deeper layer on that clouds message today. It's just kind of saying your thoughts are on. You've been thinking about the clover, taking a chance. You've been thinking about taking a chance, investing in yourself. I feel like this has got to do with yourself, taking a chance on yourself, or taking a chance to, I kind of feel like, ask for something. We do have the birds coming through there, followed by the garden. Okay, so it is kind of very similar to Leo's reading in the sense of there's some sort of conversation, some sort of meeting about to take place for you here with your work, your job, career. You may even work with a Leo, and maybe that's why I'm seeing it in both. Who knows? But your thoughts, you may be sort of overthinking things a little bit, and it feels like it's a bit of a risk to have these conversations, to ask to have this meeting. For some of you, it may feel like it's a bit of a gamble. It could go either way here. So that's why maybe you're overthinking it a little bit. You're a bit worried about it. It's like you're thinking about it. You're a bit stressed about it, maybe. But we do see a conversation with the birds, and then with the garden, we do see a meeting. And with Leo, it was a little bit more focused on the groups, and the events, and like a bigger group of people, more public sort of meetings. But for you, it does feel a little bit more one-on-one-ish, or one-on-two, if that makes sense. Like you meeting up with, two of the bosses and ask, like it feels with the birds for you, I'm really feeling like you're asking for something. So, this is definitely that energy of you kind of, I'm going to take a chance and ask for a raise, or ask for, some sort of promotion, ask to swap departments, get more hours, all those sorts of things. So with the garden, this meeting, it may take place like outside of work. It may happen like, in a public space where it's like, oh, can I meet you at the coffee shop, over our lunch break, and we can talk about this, or, it feels a bit more casual, but more like, oh, I just wanted to check in with you about something. Can we go for lunch together and talk about work stuff? It does just feel like something like that for you here. Where does this lead Sagittarius? Where does this lead Sagittarius with work, job, career, please? There is potential. There is potential here, but it's treading very carefully the way you're dealing with this. Because we do have the fox coming through first. Now, the fox is the car salesman of the Lenormand. Okay, so the fox is where you've got to sell yourself up. Don't sell yourself short. You need to be very logical and rational, and not sell yourself short here. Maybe even to the extent of being a little bit clever, a little bit tricky about the way that you're doing this. Okay, so we do see the tree as well. Okay, so the tree talks about self-growth and growth in general. So I kind of am picking up here that, when you have this meeting, or if you do, take the chance to go and have this conversation, firstly, it's very important to put yourself first, your own survival, be a little bit selfish, dare I say, be a little bit selfish, but in a very logical way. Okay? It's very important that you don't put other people's needs or abilities above your own if you want this to succeed. Okay? Because I'm kind of picking up here, it's like focusing on your abilities and skills and the growth that you've shown within the workplace. And, if somebody else is brought up in the conversation as to, oh, what about so-and-so? Don't they do just as good a job? Like, you're not putting somebody down, but you're really focusing on yourself and how much more awesome I am. I would be the best person. I, you know, I have the more potential to grow. For some of you, I'm picking up, I am more mature and responsible as well, because the tree can talk about maturity. I have, longer, more experience, those sorts of things coming through here. I'm very mature, and but I still have a lot of room to grow. So focusing on your growth, for some of you, it's also your health, oddly enough. So if you're kind of, I'm just picking up here very strongly that if you're questioned on why should I choose you, Sagittarius, over this person over here, let's call them, Bob. Why should I choose you over Bob? Well, Bob does have those medical concerns and that bad knee. I don't have any health issues. I'm very, I have a lot of health and vitality. I exercise right and I do the best thing for myself. So, you're better off betting on me is what I'm hearing you kind of say. But you're not trying to put Bob down. You're being very careful to not speak badly about somebody else. But you're really showcasing how much more you have to give over Bob, because Bob's got that dicky knee problem. Like the last thing you'd want is that to, him to have to go and have an operation on his knee when it's, super important client. I don't have any thing going on like that. So, I have a lot more room to grow and be here 24/7. It's it does feel a little bit selfish, but that's what you kind of need to do with it. It's not being selfish. It's like focusing on your own survival and really putting yourself first. Being very clever with the way that you're dealing with this meeting. Okay. Even if you do feel as though you're a little bit of a car salesman where you're selling up all these really good qualities about yourself, but I don't need to mention any of my bad qualities. Definitely don't be feeling like you need to mention any of your bad qualities at this meeting, okay? Because, or it's kind of this energy of, if your bad qualities are being brought up, somehow twisting them to be good, if that kind of makes sense. Like one I used to always do when it was like school and job interviews and stuff like that. At school, I would always get the report cards would always say, Michelle talks too much. Michelle talks too much. But then, when I was working and things like that, doing job interviews, I would always twist that around and say, I have no issues with communication. Key, like, back it up. It actually means I just talk a lot. But I've no qualms in communicating. I'm very what's the word? Bubbly and interactive with customers. Turning those potential negatives into how can I make that look like it's a really good thing for you? Because we all know that, we all embellish a little bit on, job interview type stuff, right? Turn those flaws around. Okay, Sagittarius. What's going on for Sagittarius and your person? So regardless of whether this is a person from your past, your present, or your future that you maybe haven't even met yet, we'll have a look, see what's going on with the energy. Sagittarius and your person. What's going on with the energy of Sagittarius and your person? Present and future energy for Sagittarius and your person. Definitely seeing a lot of similar elements to what we saw with the other fire signs. So some of you may have strong fire in your charts here. With the present energy, we do have the picture energy here. Looking at pictures, missing you, nostalgia, and making new memories. So some of you are looking a little bit backwards here, trying to learn from the past, because what you're doing is you're cutting down that past energy, cutting out separation, stopping the pattern and silent treatment. So you're looking back at the past in order to try to stop those patterns that you've seen between yourself and romantic interests, so that we can find self-love. We have love here. Okay, unconditional love, self-love and wholeness, affection and attraction and selflessness. So when it comes to love, that's where you can be, selfless, but all towards yourself. That's that forgiveness once again, finding forgiveness and love for yourself once again, rather than looking back at the past to make yourself feel bad, using it to learn how can I, change that pattern and, move into a pattern that serves me and move into a pattern where I'm showing myself love and worth with love. Future energy here, we have the coffee cup. So meeting and talking, savoring the moment, feeling elevated and building friendships. So definitely seeing a meeting there as well. So that definitely, that garden energy, that meeting energy, that person that you're having that meeting with, you may in the future, the better rapport you build with that person, I do feel it's going to work out for you really well. They may introduce you to somebody in the future. I'm just picking that up just intuitively, that it may actually be connected to the same person. So the more that you're, meeting and talking and conversing with people, building rapport with people, whether it be that energy from the work stuff or elsewhere in your life, the more that it's going to help you out with love and romance in the long run. We do have the engagement ring as well. Higher commitments, eternity, partnership and union, and completion. So there's definitely a union for you there in the future. It's just a matter of getting to it, I feel, for a lot of you. Working through, the healing and the stuff that you need to do for yourself at the moment. And just know that, if you do want a union, there is one there for you in the future. Okay, so that's what we have for you today, Sagittarius. More than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Check out that shadow work reading. If you can, if you start watching it and it's too much, you are more than welcome to turn it off. Shadow work is, something where only take on what you can. Only, do what you can as you can. If you're not in a mental space to be able to deal with that, that is fine. Okay. You do not have to pressure yourself into, facing the darker stuff. Uh, you know, or continually, or at a time when you're not feeling able to. Okay, but subscribe to the channel, guys, and I'll see you again soon.